Day 27, day 4. We were talking yesterday about working and enthusiasm, and the thing that I closed with that you need to write down because it's one of those things that you need to hear 14 times. When you do more than you're paid to do, when you do more than you're paid to do, you'll eventually get paid more for what you do. And you hear this all the time in business. It's not my job. You even hear it in coaching. Oh, that's not my job. But those coaches that you hear say that, they don't move up. Let me assure you of that. Those people in business that do that, they don't move up. It's not my job. Yeah, it is. If it needs to be done, it's your job. When you're out there in practice and they need a scout running back, it's your job. It don't matter. Well, I'm not a scout running back. Yeah, it's your job. If you love to play the game of football, I had more trouble keeping Odell Beckham from being a scout team running back than I did anything else because he would have played every play every day in practice. All he wanted to do was play football every single day. Well, he was pretty good, and he still is. I mean, he has a son that's pretty good, Odell Beckham Jr. But to be enthusiastic, that's what it takes. Zig Ziglar used to tell the story, and I think it was so true. One of his best friends worked at the grocery store down the street, and Zig worked at the grocery store. And these two grocery stores would exchange goods sometimes. If they didn't have enough beans or peas or carrots or whatever it was, this kid would run down to the store and say, we need to borrow 10 cans of green beans. And Zig said he asked the store owner, why is Billy always running? He's always enthusiastic and he's always running and he's always excited. And the store owner said, he's trying to get a raise. And Zig said, you think he'll get it? And he said, if he doesn't get it at that store, he'll get it here because I'll hire him here. Simple story, but it's the truth. It is your job, whatever it is. Recipe for confidence. The ancient and modern definitions have been given for a reason. Enthusiasm comes from two Greek words, en and theo, which literally means God within me. When the Apostle Paul was thrown into prison and was singing praises to God rather than complaining or whining, the jailer said the only way he could do that was in theos. In other words, in order for him to be able to smile and sing, he must have been possessed by some heavenly being. That is the true definition of enthusiasm, to be so eager and so excited about something or someone that those around you believe you are possessed, that something or someone has taken over your being. Can you imagine being thrown into getting beat with a whip and getting thrown into prison? Now, prison back then was a whole lot worse than prison today, into a dungeon. And you're in there singing, pray, and you're in the dungeon because you told the people that you worship Jesus. And you're being persecuted for that, and they throw you into a dungeon cell, and you're in there singing praises to Jesus. Now, my question is, what would you say if you didn't know anything about this Jesus, and this guy's in there singing praises to him after he's been beat and thrown in prison for doing it? I've told the story before. When I got fired at the University of North Texas, the first phone call I got was from Grant Teff. And Coach Teff said, Dennis, you got the greatest opportunity in your life to witness for Jesus Christ. Because everybody's going to call you, and your friends are going to call you, and the Christian friends that call you, if you say, you know what, God's got something great planned for me. They're going to say, yeah, that's why I called you. He said, but if they call you and they're not Christians, and they say, boy, you really got shafted getting fired. You had all those kids coming back and you had a 5-year contract and you really got shafted. And you say, No, God's got something really great in plan for me. He said, I promise you, you'll hear nothing but dead silence on the other end of the line. To have enthusiasm when you've been fired, now that's difficult. And I'm not going to lie to you. If Grant Teff had not called me, and the second person to call me was Zig Ziglar, and if those two people hadn't called me and said, boy, isn't this a great thing? Isn't this the most wonderful thing in the world? I doubt very seriously that I would have been very enthusiastic. But every time I got a phone call that morning, and my friends would start off by telling me how bad North Texas was and how they were unfair to me, and I'd say, you know, God's got something really great in store for me. And you know, if it was a Christian on that line, they would say, yeah, that's why I called you. And if it was not, Coach Teff was exactly right. It just went dead silent. And like he said, you're going to have the greatest chance to witness for Jesus that you've ever had. When you were winning all those football games and you were coach of the year and you were standing up and saying, I love the Lord and all that, everybody was going, yeah, I would too if I had those kids that you got and if you were winning all that. He said, now then, when you're in the bottom and you stand up and you have enthusiasm, it's the same as the sudden change with DW. When the other team fumbles, or when your team fumbles and you run out on the field with enthusiasm, it's the same as getting fired at your job and you say, okay, God's got something great in store for me. This just means I'm going to go in a different direction. If something bad happens, there's where enthusiasm comes in. I hope Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday you had a plus beside being a role model for enthusiasm. Finish the story. It's definitely true that nothing great is accomplished without enthusiasm. In order to accomplish something great, you must have an intense interest in doing whatever it is. If you want to have a great day, you must almost seem to others to be possessed supernaturally to do so. The norm is simply to have the type of day that circumstances dictate. You do not have fun, you make it fun. You do not have good days, you make it a good day. You do these when you add enthusiasm to the equation. We talked about at the very beginning of this course. You don't have a good day, you make it a good day. People without enthusiasm, if something bad happens to them, if there is a fumble on the field, they start griping and whining and moaning. And those winners, the ones with enthusiasm, they say, man, this is a chance to make me great. And it's the same with you. When that coach scolds you for doing something wrong, and you look at it and you say, he was right, I can make it better. When you go to that English class and you're acting a fool and the teacher calls you down and you respond to it, that's responding with enthusiasm. That's being enthusiastic. You're never going to be great without enthusiasm. You're never going to achieve anything great without enthusiasm. Put a plus beside your role model for enthusiasm today. See you tomorrow.